The GRE is a test required for admission to many U.S. graduate schools. Student scores on the quantitative portion of the GRE follow a normal distribution with a mean 150 and standard deviation 8.8. In addition to other qualifications, a score of at least 152 is required for admission to a particular graduate school. Draw a normal curve with the parameters labeled. So same thing we want to do here. We did in the last example, so we want to draw out our normal curve here. So we have our mean in the middle. Our mean, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So the mean plus the standard deviation, the mean plus 2, and the mean plus 3. So our mean is 150. And our standard deviation there is 8.8, and we're dealing with a random variable x again. So we're going to subtract here. So mu minus sigma, mu minus 2 sigma, and mu minus 3 sigma. So our mean goes in the middle. So our mean here is 150, and then I'm going to add 8.8. So 150 plus 8.8, we get 158.8, and then if I add 8.8, we get 167.6, and if I add 8.8, we get 176.4. So we would go back to 150, and I'll subtract 8.8, we get 141.2, and then if I subtract 8.8 from 141.2, we get 132.4, and then if I subtract 8.8 from that, we get 123.6. So we label that out with our 3 standard deviations above the mean and 3 standard deviations below the mean. So moving on to the next part, we have shade the region under the normal curve that represents test takers who scored above 152 on the verbal portion of the GRE. So just copied our graph over from the previous section. So we want above 152. So notice that's not an even standard deviation. So we know it's not, so it's in between 0 and 1 z-score. Let's mark that. So somewhere in here maybe. I'm just going to bring that down. So 152, and we're looking at above. So we want this region over here. So now roughly that should be a little bit under 50% kind of intuitive if we're thinking through this, right? So now let's do some interpretations again here. So they tell us that the area there is 0.4101, and we want to provide 2 interpretations of this area. So again, we know that the interpretations are from probability and proportions. So we can make those 2 different interpretations. So we have that the proportion of students who score above 152 is 0.4101, and we also have that the probability that a randomly selected student will score above 152 is 0.4101.